three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
All right, everybody, welcome to a special Wednesday evening edition of Teaching Crypto. We are here. Please hit that like, please hit that subscribe, bell notification. As always, super chats are available. It's AZcrypto here from MrFOMO. MrFOMO, last time we talked, we were talking about overcoming 28K. We took 28K for Bitcoin also. We briefly, just for a moment, hit 30 with some fake news, unfortunately, about an ETF being approved. But I'll explain a little bit why people should actually be encouraged by that news. But what are your thoughts on our brief visit above 30K?
Well, a lot of people felt negatively about it because I had a lot of friends who I was talking to about Bitcoin and crypto, and they were saying, well, how is this not a pump and dump? We see this jump up, and apparently they just kind of started watching it lately. And my point to them was, yeah, the market did jump based on this news, but the market does that a lot. Even the regular market does that when there's good news or bad news coming out. It makes a move either way. But what I said is this proves that there's money on the sideline. This proves that people are waiting to jump into crypto. There's retail money. There's big business money. That is a lot of money that moved that price from what, 27 to 30. I mean, almost a 10% bump in that little time period. That shows you that there's a lot of money out there waiting to pull the trigger to get into that. That wasn't bots. That wasn't some pump and dump scheme. That was, oh my God, this is real, because Cointelegraph can't do any verification like a normal and respectable news organization. They just run with stories. And then I think I saw their CEO or their president trying to defend the fact that they ran with that story without verifying it. There are a lot of people that lost money because they were liquidated based on that pump in the market. So Cointelegraph probably is the most at fault. If there's anything that's wrong with the market, I'd say that crypto news organizations need to do a better job and just practice some due diligence and make sure these things are real before you go spouting them out to the world, because a lot of people lost. I mean, there was tens of millions of dollars in liquidations because of that. And so,
that's what we say. Be careful. Leverage is very dangerous, and we recommend not.
Leverage and spot trading. But to be honest with you, I think the silver lining to all of this is that there's money on the sideline. Yes. There is a dark cloud to it, and that is that you can't always trust crypto news, but that's why you keep it locked on Teaching Crypto, because you can count on us to verify that stuff for you.
Yeah, and here's the thing for me: if the news had proven correct, I think we would have kept going higher that day.
It definitely gives more ammunition to your theory that the ETF will be pumping the market, would cause an explosion in the market, right? I mean, on fake news, it pumped at 10%. So I kind of have to back off of my theory that an ETF won't pump the market, because we have evidence right there. You have one fake headline and the market went crazy for a second. So I have to take back my prediction on the ETF. I'm going to go ahead and say I think the ETF will be an explosive catalyst in the market now.
And right now the banks are saying there's a 90% chance an ETF gets approved before March of 2024.
And there was a 75% chance a couple months ago that it would be approved before the end of this year. And so I think that was what that fake news was kind of, whoever spread that or whoever started that, they were kind of banking on that previous news, say, hey, let's throw this out there, see if it catches any fire. But the reality is that I think that now we have at least some evidence that your thesis is going to be correct when that ETF fires off. And so the rest of us should start accumulating, if we haven't already, or keep accumulating in anticipation that there's that 75% chance that an ETF gets approved before the end of the year, or that 90% chance that it gets approved before March. And then you have the halving event in April. So you want to have your bags packed by the time we get to that point, because once it happens, it looks like it's going to happen quick, and it's going to happen.
Well,
It's going to go. It's going to be out of reach before you realize it.
really, this bull run that we're thinking of here, it's going to end most likely, if you follow the last patterns, sometime right before Thanksgiving of 2025. So we're now almost into November. So really, we're in the sweet spot of 24 to 25 months for this event. I know we talked about the bull run kind of started, but it didn't. It was like you're getting dressed to go to the game, but the game hasn't started. You're now probably about to get in your car and
Yeah, you're right. When you look at the metrics before, and when you look at some of the things that other people have spotted that we've picked up on, we've shown the tweets on other shows, they talked about 6 months prior and 18 months after. Now, you can't count on that being exact dates, but you can roughly approximate what you're going to do based on that. And AZ's right. We are right in the sweet spot there. We're in October. We've only got 6 months till the halving. So it's bag packing time. You got to make sure.
I think this opens up a 2-year. Next month opens up a 2-year window. Sorry to cut you off. And so the time for accumulation, you've had plenty of time. What's going to be funny is people are going to be complaining, I bet you, next in 2024. Man, I wish I had more time to accumulate. Well, we've been here the whole bear market. We've one of the shows that have stuck it out. We were the crazy people that started right at the beginning of the bear. Voyager news, Nazar. Give us about a week, and we're going to find out if mediation worked or not. So
they are in mediation right now.
They are there, and FTX did settle with Genesis, so that gives us hope. And they settled for a lot less than they were asking for. So let's cross our fingers and hope for the best. But we're not breaking any news.
My understanding is, though, we're going to have to be dependent on people who are actually involved in this to come out and give us information, because Stretto, as far as I know, isn't going to give us any more information on this process. So as far as
it's going to be up to
we're going to do some digging to make sure we get you the most up-to-date information. But for right now, Stretto's not going to be spitting anything out, as far as I know. And so if they do, or if we find out anything else, or when news breaks about the mediation and what's happened with it, whether or not we're going to get another distribution, or whether or not you are going to have to wait until next year for some sort of court hearing to figure it out. But as of right now, that's where we stand. And so we've got another week, and then maybe we'll get some good news.
We'll put up some, and if we don't hear anything, we can put up some phone numbers and ask some questions for sure.
Absolutely.
Because
we still do have a lot of information in the description below. I don't know if we have the latest phone numbers, but we certainly have Paul Hage's number and all the other numbers that we collected along the way. And so we'll put some more information as it becomes available. And then, if we don't get the news we want, we'll start working on the phone lines and start working on the emails and do like we did last time until we get the information we want.
Absolutely. And you guys made a difference. So thank you so much. And again, thanks again for supporting the show. Speaking of shows, one of the biggest crypto channels, Cryptos Are Us, George, you probably heard of him. We've started before our own channel watched him, MrFOMO, and today his channel was randomly removed without warning. And this has happened to several crypto channels. So if we ever disappear, make sure you're following us on X, because we'll tell you why. But it is just a reminder that the space is still in its infancy in terms of there is still so much negative connotation. We've talked about denotation, connotation in school. Well, there's still a lot of negative connotation with the word crypto. And so when you have that in your title, I feel like you're never shocked when this happens. And George is a very clean show. There's no profanity. There's nothing inappropriate. It's mostly an informational show about Bitcoin daily. And
he allows people to do they do a Q&A at the end where he allows people to ask questions, and he answers the questions for them about crypto. This reminds me of how he starts off every show. I'm George. We're all George. And in this case, I feel like kind of we are all George in this situation, even though we're trying to get some traction in the same space he is. Like you said, we started off as, subscribers. I'm still subscribed to George. And
Myself as well.
I feel terrible that this has happened because I love his channel. I love what he does. I love the platform. I love, how he reaches out to people and does the Q&A. It's one of the reasons why I love the chat on our show. And so I think if you love that show as well, then you might want to send a message to YouTube to let them know that you want him back on and that you would like to see more crypto educational and entertainment videos like teaching crypto. Because it would be a shame if this was taken away from us. You look at at the crypto media out there, and we just talked about Cointelegraph running with a bad headline. We've talked about the regular mainstream media before, after the Wall Street Bets thing, where you had GameStop and AMC. They went and somebody went and had the TV reporters report that now the Wall Street Bets people are shorting silver. That was never the case. And so they were trying to get people to believe that just by using the media in that way. And so it's scary that they are pulling channels like his from that, because sometimes that's the only place. Sometimes these channels like ours and others are the only place where you can get decent information about crypto that can help you prior to some sort of pump. I mean, if you're waiting for the regular news media, you're either getting it wrong or
you're not getting it.
You're not getting it all.
Yeah. So it's sad. And hopefully his channel gets put back. But a lot of smaller players don't have a voice like him, and their channel doesn't come back for weeks, if not months, if not at all. So hopefully that's something that YouTube does correct. Next time we speak on Friday, Mr. FOMO, I'm hoping to overtake 29K. I'm still I'm leaving out hope for the 30K to be there is resistance there, but I'm hoping we can get that. 32, I'm not quite sure. What I'm seeing here now is maybe because of such horrible news all over the world, this October has been delayed. I'm not making excuses. And maybe this rally pushes closer into mid-November, late November, and then maybe we don't have that retrace till after Thanksgiving. Just kind of a theory I'm working through right now just to see. I still think we're going to have a dip around holiday time, but maybe we are okay through Thanksgiving, and maybe the dip is in December. I don't know. I still think there's some momentum for Bitcoin, and I do expect us to, some people are saying 20K. No, I think we're going, unless something crazy happens, like Binance goes under or the world escalates into further war. I still expect Bitcoin to slowly surge over the rest of October. Well, we're just going to have to wait and see. You keep it here. Remember to hit that like, that subscribe.
Hold on. I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Okay. Well,
you've thrown some tokens at me. I want to share with the viewers kind of a strategy, because this is teaching crypto. So I want to share kind of a strategy that I use sometimes. And I want to take a look at SUI, SUI. This is a token that at one point was one of the hottest tokens of the market. You couldn't really look at Crypto X without seeing something mentioned about SUI. And lately, there has been a lot of news about them maybe falsely manipulating their circulating supply, or at least falsely reporting it. And that has caused, sorry, we have a helicopter going over, but that has caused over the last 30 days about a 14 or 15% drop in the price. And when you have a hot token like this, one that does have a lot of momentum behind it, there are people working behind it, you may want to take a look at it, see where it bottoms out, see when that bad news stops rolling through the news cycle, and scoop some up. Maybe even scoop some up now. Yesterday was at 37, today's at 38. It might be one to take a look at. But when those hot tokens have taken a dive over a period like that, especially when they have bad news surrounding them for a while, it's a good time to go in and take a look at them. So that's one I want you to take a look at, is the SUI token.
Good one.
It's down 15% over the last month, but it is one that has seen some hot streaks in the past.
And it's not a huge market cap by any means. So there's definitely room for growth, especially as we get closer, like we said, to the Bitcoin halving. And hopefully that we have some more momentum when we see you guys on Friday. If there's something that breaks beforehand, obviously we'll go live. So for MrFOMO, this is AZ Crypto. Thank you guys so much. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Check out our store. Super chats are available. Have a great night, everybody.
See ya.